Peace. Good morning. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of the File Playland. I'm your file player. I wanted to make this video outside, but they're doing construction across the canal or across the street. Fucking it stopped for a little while and I set up outside, but then they started again. And on top of that, I think these motherfuckers are blocking my way of leaving this fucking house later on. But no biggie. I'll make a move and just making sure my video is on before I get started. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day too. Yeah, but I wanted to make this video regarding the what happened last night or over the in a span of a couple hours actually. Um, Silver got clobbered. Um, when I went to bed last night, I fell asleep late, like because I was watching the hell was I was watching Snapped or some stupid shit. The and it was down like 60 cents or 50 cents, and today this morning it was down like a buck 61. Um the good and bad thing about silver, the good, because I look at myself as a holder, like is that there's these when the price gets clobbered, you're talking about a so 161, you know, down today, you're talking about like percentages like that are like 5%. That's like bad. Like, oh shit, like fucking. But in these instances, like what I do, I mean, like, which is what I'm gonna do today is buy more. Um, um, I'm gonna put an order in, and like a lot of places that I order from, they'll let you pay like up to 10 days later, and like retain like today's prices, and I'm gonna do just that. Um, because in spite of that, I mean, like the crypto markets kind of went up, which I don't know why. Like the news that was coming out of the Fed yesterday, like with Janet Yellen and because they did have to speak yesterday, the Federal Reserve. Nothing was how do I say this? Like positive. It didn't like nothing that was said there was like good for the dollar or good for the long-term economy of the country. I mean, like they did talk about quantitative easing, which I can't really break down like to its core at this current juncture. But everything you're getting from them is that the economy is booming, which it is in a sense. Um, but I think that's a inflated boom, and that's I think for an economy to really be booming, you have to have a balance of, and this is solely this country's economy. Like when mentioning the Federal Reserve, you have to have a good mix of producing goods, um, domestically, and a good chain of selling them. But now, in the face of supply line issues, like in the face of we don't make shit in this country at all, like it's been that way for since the 90s. Um, how we have an economic boom that's not due to large scale inflation is beyond me. Basically we don't have an economic boom. Um, like I think this is a bullshit boom. I think that the government's just gonna like print money and buy debt, or which they actually kind of admitted to. I think a lot like the debt that they will buy is gonna be like mortgage debt. Um, and I think a lot of people, way more than 2008, are gonna be holding the bag and like a lot of these loans and foreclosing. There could be another plan at hand. I think that a lot of people fear that um they want these foreclosures to happen and then get owned by banks, and then long term that the banks are just going to be the biggest renters in the world, or just hold all these properties and rent to people, which is going to cause a big time uh serfdom, or it's even worse. Like, I mean, you like, it's really hard to go from renting to buying a house when these big banks, with money that you're giving them, like pretty much, money like from your taxes, um via bailouts and whatnot. When those banks fuck up, you bail them out every time. Like, they go to the government and beg, and you're giving them the money back. But um those same banks are gonna start buying up property in mass, I believe, and then renting those properties to you. I mean, like, and when you're in that renting situation, I mean, especially if they, these big banks are holding a bunch of rental properties, they could screw with the price of rent, and it's just a really, really, really bad look. And I know that's already happening, and I think that was already happening in the past. Like, where I live in New Jersey, a lot of banks were buying up property then and renting them, like bank held rentals. And I thought maybe that's a short term thing, because you don't see a bank in it for the long play. Well, you don't think that the banks are in it for the long play, but you never saw those houses pop up back in the market for sale. It was always for rent. And it's a brilliant scheme, even though it's grimy as fuck. But I think that's what's going to come down the pipe, and maybe that in a short term, that's gonna be some of the quote unquote economic boom, or economic positive news that's happening. Oh, well, well, a lot of home sales are happening, when it's in fact it's a lot of home sales that are going to be happening um by banks with your money, with your tax money. And that's why, with a lot of these things, it's best to stop dealing with in money, and start putting yourself with in possession of real assets. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, a lot of people, like, like that. I'm really, really interested in the finances of the country, and, like, the economics of the country now. Um, and, like, I don't want, like, a lot of people think that, me being or a lot of people that are holding, like, the assets elsewhere, want the economy of the country to fuck up. I don't want the economy of the country to fuck up. That'd be grimy. I don't want to be like the guy, who's the top dog, um with a bunch of bummy motherfuckers around me. Like, I mean, like, because I mean, like, I'm not a pussy, but, fucking then I got to be dealing with a bunch of people that want it, like, and need it, and they're gonna want to get it. Plus, it's just not the, I have fucking kids, and I mean, I have a son, I have nephews, nieces. I don't want them to inherit a shitty world, like, of a bunch of people that have no hope of buying a house, or fucking or getting like long term beings. Or, you don't want that for nobody. So I mean, like, I don't want to be the top dog, like, um in a bunch of rubble. Do I want the dollar to at some point be exposed for what it is? Absolutely. I think that the dollar is it's a real fucked up institution, whatever have you. But do I want, like, real, like, true money, like, to come back into the fold, like, 100%. But I also don't want, like, the world to shit upon itself, like, fucking but that's just me. In other news, though, and this is a story from the New York Post. They decided not to use the U.S. dollar with Bitcoin as legal tender. The country was, like, looking for like assistance from the World Bank, like to try to implement like the Bitcoin, which makes no sense. I mean, like, so I think that maybe somebody got the bag like thrown in their direction, and in El Salvador, or maybe not. Maybe they just scared. Salvador right now, you like their currency was got completely shot. So what they did was they started using USD or US dollars as their main currency. Um, I don't know how long they've implemented this, but if you don't know, like El Salvador is a complete shithole. Like fucking and when I say that, like if you're Salvadoran and you get hurt by that, like because I can't stand when people say, oh, what, like, because I be like, oh, like like when I tell people, oh, fucking Newark's a shit. Oh, I grew up in Newark. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, do you own fucking Newark? I grew up in Sunset Park. Sunset Park's a shithole. Like, the fuck? Like, do I own anything in Sunset Park, or do you own anything in Newark? Absolutely not. And even if you did, you could say where I fucking live is a shithole. Like fucking that's it's perspective. A lot of people don't like where I live. Like fucking who gives a shit? Like, like, and I'm not saying it in a snobby fashion. Like fucking do would I go eat dinner in Newark? Fuck no. I wouldn't eat dinner in Sunset Park no more. Big deal. But Salvador is a fucking shithole. Um the and like a lot of Salvadorian dudes, I mean, much love. Like there's a lot of them in my neighborhood, but there's some fucking hood motherfuckers. Like, and that happened, like, where they're from, like, not like that they're pre-genetically disposed, like fucking how they say about things like myself or black people or fuck, just that we come up rough, like fuck. But Salvadorians in this country are some tough motherfuckers, like and it's because their country is in a state of war, fucking gangs out there, and the war problem was a bigger deal than the gang problem out there. Like, I mean, like, they're making it seem like El Salvador just has a big gang phenomenon, and that's what's causing the country to fuck up. No, Salvador had a war problem in the '90s, and then they had a lot of people defecting that grew up in war, and then they came to America, and then they started banging like fucking and then some of them got deported, and they brought the gang banging shit back to El Salvador, and it got bigger over there. But I mean, like, no gangbangers are gonna change the way of a whole country. You change the way of a city. But I also have a theory on like the MS-13 gang. Like I've heard it in the past too. And I mean, like, when Trump calls a gang out by name, or like when a president calls a gang out by name, it's some serious shit. Damn, I'm looking at this fucking part of my head like that's like it looks like a fucking like one of the berets from Coming to America. But um, you know, in spite of that, in spite of El Salvador like being the first country or attempting to become the first country like to recognize Bitcoin as uh as a replacement of the dollar. They didn't want to like implement it as a currency along with the dollar. They wanted to replace it with the dollar, and I guess they decided not to. Um, I mean, I wasn't bullish about that. I mean, like, I just think that like the conversation is good. Like, that these things are even feasible when the first time I heard about Bitcoin, I thought it was the stupidest idea. I still don't think like it's the best idea in the world. I not like crazy about fucking Bitcoin. I've always said that. But you know, you want these things to happen like slowly. Like, and that's with any investment. Like, you don't want it to skyrocket up. You want a healthy rise. You want a slow, like ascension. When people rush in, like, and bring things like way up, I mean, like, one, you can't buy them no more when they're really expensive. But two, um, then it comes cracking back down, and like a lot of times that ride down is worse than the ride up, and then it this thing's bugging me. What the fuck? And then the it never comes back up again. So I mean, like, I like what is a country like El Salvador recognizing Bitcoin as like their currency. Great news in a country like El Salvador. Like, had it gone through, like, would have been good. Um, Probably not, because I mean, like, fucking you don't want like a country like with like war torn to be where it's first implemented at. Like, I mean, like, there was another country, I think Kenya, has like their own Federal Reserve, like their central bank, whatever, like, and they have Bitcoin as one of their holdings. That's good. I mean, Kenya is a lot more stable than fucking El Salvador, but for to have it roll out in a country like El Salvador, I don't think it would have been good. In spite of all that, they shot it down, which a lot of Bitcoin people were happy about. The crypto conference that happened like 3 weeks ago, I think, like, had somebody from like a senator from El Salvador speak on it and announce it on stage. Like, I mean, like, that was cool. But in spite of all that, like, Bitcoin still went up like today. Like, every all cryptos went up today. Um, all cryptos have the misfortune of some of them going up and down with Bitcoin, which is not a good thing. Like, long term, I think that they should try to disassociate themselves from Bitcoin. But the fact that that announcement was made and cryptos across the board kind of went up today, what the fuck? Like, that just shows you that none of these markets make any sense. And in a market that doesn't make sense, you go with the granddaddy of assets, which is precious metals, more so silver. Um, this fucking cheesy ass light over here is like fucking with me. Like, the again, this is not my house. Like, this is a vacation house, and the room that I'm in, which is my bedroom, is a fucking disaster. But it's too noisy outside. What other news? That was a big and fucking I don't know if you guys heard, like, the president's son is a fucking buffoon. The He got a bunch of texts with his cousin, but his cousin's like a lot younger than him, and like they're just talking about inappropriate shit. He says a couple racist things amongst it. But naturally it doesn't get covered by the news because they take a hands-off approach with the current presidency. No hard questions, no you know, wipe away any scandals that are that arise, if you will. But I trying to think something else happened. Oh yeah, there's a good story, man. Like, it's not even a story. It's a it's kind of like my like I like a lot of these weird phenomenons, if you will, or ghost stuff. I'm gonna start saying my ghost stories in the future too. I have a few. Like, I actually don't know if anybody watching this has seen any ghost in real life, but I've seen many. I haven't seen one in a long time. Actually, the last time I saw a legit ghost was here, where I'm vacationing at now. Not in this house, but in an arcade. And I actually went to that arcade like 3 days ago. I didn't see nothing then. But I gotta go back there because I still have $16 credit on a fucking game card. So if I see another ghost, you'll know about it. But that one was creepy though. Like, and like the whole place got cold after it. It's pretty nuts. No, but another crazy story that I read. Um and again, like, I mean, this story, has no fanfare, but I believe it to be 100% true. And it's about the emojis like being associated with demons. Um it's a long story. I mean, like, it's not very long. I mean, it's good to know a little bit of the Bible, to get a little bit of a grip on it, which I know a little Bible. But it has to do with King Solomon meeting with Queen Sheba in the Bible. I think that was in the book of I don't know what book it was. I'm not gonna say Song of Solomon, but there's a story within that book. If you think about Solomon in the Bible, like he's pretty grimy ass dude. David was also a grimy ass dude in the Bible. It may have been a little bit on the side, but in the Solomon story, like when he meets the Queen of Sheba, they have like this kind of like thing going on, like where she's trying to figure something out from him, like a riddle, and he's trying to figure out like stuff from her. Um, and basically, what they're saying is that the riddle that she had was that she had knowledge of like dark powers, like maybe sorcery of some sort. His riddle was that he knew more about that stuff than she did, and he actually had um like a way to control it that was like really powerful. So he gave her like his knowledge in the book in the Bible. Um to where she gave him um like 666 like things of gold, like 666, like the number of the devil. So what he so like but they don't say like what he gave her like for that gold, like with the exception of like basically like the fact that she solved the riddle from him. Moving on in the future, somebody from America went to the country of Oman and did an archaeological dig, um, looking for like a treasure of King Solomon or some shit. While he was in that country, like they sent like motherfuckers like rushing him, like trying to kill him. Like they actually kidnapped him at one point. But for some reason afterwards, they let him be. Um, and he became like the only like outsider of the country to become like a sheik, like, which is like an esteemed position, I'm assuming. But he also became the single biggest holder of oil fields in the whole world. Like from and he wasn't from that country. So a lot of people wondered like what was it that he gave the king of Oman or that country to become like, a sheik and to become the richest outside holder of wealth within the country. Um, Fast forward it to current times. There's something called Uniplo or Unipro, which basically allows what memes are going to be accepted, or what emojis, I'm sorry, are going to be accepted like by um like the world, like by the internet. And they have like a group of people that are the ones that like pretty much give it the pass, or like the that say, this is no good, this one's good. So the top people were Facebook, Google, a couple of SAP, which is a business like a business IT company, um and they also had the religious um department of that country, Oman, which a lot of people were like, why are all these tech companies taking part in this emoji thing, and not, and then this religious um branch of the government of Oman. So what some people were concluding was that what well before I even get to that, somebody in 1611 made a book saying that he found like some keys from King Solomon, like uh like he released a book, and the keys are basically like symbols, and each symbol, which was 72 in number, had a demon attached to it, like which I guess you could control it if you knew what you were doing. And every one of those symbols looks exactly like the the list of emojis that were released. Like so one symbol was one god and it looks like the happy face emoji. One symbol, hey Lala D. One symbol was like that emoji that comes chilling Lala D. Another symbol was the emoji that has like these like those nerdy glasses, and it was another god. I wish I could pull it up. Like I don't know shit about the internet, but they're saying that that list of like approved emojis like that are like actually demonic symbols has like finished, like that it got down to, yes, it's definitely a good time to buy silver. The but that list of emojis is down to their last like couple, and they're saying that to close the spell that they had to have three symbols of death, two symbols of alienation, and one symbol of automation, which they also made emojis for that too. It's like a ghost emoji, a skull emoji, and something else, which these were all approved like in succession. Like all 72 symbols were made the same way as that demonic spell. Like what like so 1 to 72, like all follow suit, and then like the last three to close the spell, which are three symbols of death. Oh, I'll put it right now. Um, three symbols of death. Two symbols of automation, two symbols of alienation, and two symbols of automation. Um, they're like going like perfectly. So what the hell is gonna be at like so? You gotta ask, like, I mean, like, if it's something that was so important to King Solomon in the Bible, to the country of Oman, like, what the hell power like does that shit have? Like the fact that and it's not. I know a lot of people like, oh, well, it stopped people from reading and writing. People that weren't reading and writing for years already. Um, like or spelling like shit. Like people were doing that for ages. But what is these symbols like? That were approved by Facebook and approved by Google. Um, like what's their skin in the game? Like why were they even on board like with this whole like emoji demon thing? Like But if you guys could like look it up, I mean, there's a good video. It's actually done by like a puppet, but it's really hard to find information about this. But I think it's 100% true. I think I'm actually gonna order the book that has the original demonic symbols, like just so I could read through it. Fucking and it's not like, even though I believe in like that kind of shit, but I've probably seen every emoji. I don't use emojis but I've probably seen all of them like so what could it do to me, I guess. But actually, let me see if I find the one that let me see if it lets me chat, like, or if it lets me put like an emoji. But yeah, it's creepy shit though. I mean, like, actually, let me see if I can pull it up on my phone, like, so I could show you guys. But yeah, I think a lot of that stuff is 100% true. I mean, like, and in the Bible, uh Solomon was like the wisest person in the Bible. But it's but when they talk about it, it was like God given wisdom. But when they talk about Solomon, he just seemed like a grimy dude. Like he always like he wanted to have mad wives and just seemed like a little bit on the power hungry side. But yeah, the video is actually called "The Demonic Truth Behind Emojis." And I think you guys should look it up. Like, I want to talk more about like UFO stuff and um, out of this world woo woo shit, like, which I always love that stuff, and which I've had experiences with in the past. Like, Yeah, like some of the people that approved the emoji thing were like I said, Facebook, Google, SAP, Adobe, Apple, IBM, Microsoft, Netflix, Oracle, SAP, Shopify, and the religious institute. I mean, or the religious institute of Oman. Like so what's all these people with skin in the game trying to pull up some of the symbols though. Yeah, but if you could like just look up that video though. It's the demonic origins of the demonic truth behind emojis. Like trying to pull up a symbol so I could show you. But yeah, check that out if you oh actually look, these are like some of them. Um oh this is one of them. Damn, you can't see it. There's another one. See, that's the actual symbol, and that's the emoji. So same shit. The original symbol or the demonic symbol. That's creepy. And there's another one actually more clear. Like that's the original symbol. That's how when it gets approved, like through the government, like or whatever these institutions are, that's the approved thing, and that's how you get it, like that yellow one. See, these look even closer to the original demonic symbol than this one does, than this one does to this. Like this one looks closer to this than this one looks to that. Just me. But yeah, I mean if you guys could check that out. And the thing is too that a lot of these symbols it's just like NASA and those Star Wars. Those yeah, absolutely. Like and if you think about like what I just said, Laladi, like with the origins of that story with the emojis, it first emanated from King Solomon in the Bible, like and that's like 2,000 years before Jesus, I think, or the time of Jesus. And those symbols that I just showed you actually look like a Gregorian or some shit, like ahead of his time. Like they don't look Egyptian or anything like that. And I heard somebody discussing it, and they said that if um we were gonna have hieroglyph in this time, like symbols that we could leave behind for the future generations to understand if they don't know English or it would be like emojis. So it's creepy shit. And another thing too, like when in Islam, like I think when you die or people that were willing to die for Islam or go to war for Islam, they were promised 72 virgins, you know, um, in their heaven. So I don't know if that's a correlation. There's all like there, but they always talk about 72 jinns, like 72 demons in I think in Islam too. So I mean, like what the hell did they like? And I always say that at some point people just started tripping. I always put 2012. Like my son and me talked about this one time that the world really did end on 2012, like they predicted, and it was just that a lot of people were gonna lose their fucking minds, which they did. I mean, like think about like how shit is just crazy from 2010 till today. You know what I'm saying? Like people are just fucking nuts. Like so maybe something did change, and like it may be correlated with the spell like that's happening. Maybe it's not like just the spell, maybe, but maybe the spell is helping. And the fuck is that, baby girl? It's a weird fire alarm. My wife's cooking pancakes. Let me check just in case. Love, you okay? Fire alarm? Sorry, guys. I just want to be nosy. Let me check. I'm gonna go to the fucking backyard anyway, because these motherfuckers, of course, stopped drilling and shit. Like right when I start um I'm going to the back, love. Sorry. Nah, it's okay. I'm still on video. Bastard. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I wonder what if these things all had to do with each other, like the TV in general too. I mean, like there's something on the TV like that has an esoteric thing on it 100% of the time. Like, whether that be a star, like, if you would have like in 1776 or 14, whatever, like when this country was like Puritan, if you would have showed a star like to a Puritan or like somebody in the origins of this country when it was like extremely religious, not to say that, we should get back to being extremely religious, none of that shit. See this shit, bro, fucking right when I come out here too. But if you would have had a star in front of your house, they probably would have burned you in the house within it, or you inside of the house. You know what the fuck I mean. But you see that stuff all the time, and not to say like, oh shit, I'm not going into that business because it has a star. Um, in fact, one of my tattoos has like a little bit of a star on it. But you know, at some point, there were some people that were like kind of like behind the scenes making these symbols ever present. Um, and I don't know. I think a lot of that stuff with entertainment, like the fact that every one of these, like, especially these young, like Disney kids, like grow up and have these like over sexualized like videos and like with like demonic stuff in it. I'm gonna send you a link to a really good video. He does pagan origins. Nice. Yeah, send it to me. Oh, put it, throw it up too. Um, but a lot of like times, like they'll always do like one or two videos, like, and all celebrities that have like a real dark shit to it, and a lot of people like, oh well, that he just wanted to do something different. Like, no, like I mean, like if you want to do something different, like I mean, do you gotta go to that place all the time with like bitches tied up in videos or like fucking ants crawling on you or like you motherfuckers aren't like Marilyn Manson or like, and these are like rappers and shit, or like Katy Perry, or they always doing some like extra weird shit like Hollywood or Holly weird. But and it's almost like status quo now. So like when you see it the next time, it's like, oh well, this guy did it, so he probably did it because of that. But there is some crazy stuff happening like worldwide. And another thing too, I think a lot of people like, like when I used to think of like the devil, if there was a devil, I used to always think of like some scary, like, like extra dude. Like the devil, if you think about it, if I had to envision him, like he'd probably be a really twerpy, skinny, fucking closet type, freak, um, who plays it off like he's extremely normal, um, and who like goes about trying to convince you like that the things that he has a taste for are what your kids should have a taste for and what the world should be doing. That's what I think real devils do, and we have a lot of those amongst us today. Um, you know, I think a lot of people like they think that like that the obvious signs of like somebody like trying to do you harm are like the worst signs, but you got to really look for the ones that you don't think do you harm, or as like the ones that could really be a detriment to you. Um, and don't watch fucking TV. Like but let me take off with that. Like with that, I'm out. Like I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to flea market, which only opens Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But been waiting all week for this shit to open, and it just opened 10 minutes ago. So I'll be doing that. What the fuck else I'm doing today? I'll probably do another video later. Is basically what I'm saying. Oh no, I'm going to the beach at night too, and I'm watching the Met game. So maybe I'll do both. But or a video in addition to what I got going on later. But let me know what you guys think. Yeah, like if you could I don't know if you have me on like WhatsApp or some shit or oh yeah, let me put the link of the video that I was saying too. Um Before I dip off. I got it. And this is the I think my let me make sure I have the right one. Oh, my email is New York City is mine at gmail.com. That one I know for sure. Is New York City is mine, MINE at gmail.com. But this is the video I just put up like now. It's the one about the demonic truth behind emojis. Definitely check that out though if you could. But with that, I'm out. Yeah, thank a lot of people tell me that. New York City is mine. And I actually had the domain name. Somebody devoted because I didn't put money into it. But I had Never Sleep New York. That was my promotional company at one point for my DJing stuff. But let me know what you guys think. With that, I'm out. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.